Hello, grandchildren. It's been a while since I've made a recording, so I thought I probably should do one. Today is June 4th, which is Grandpa and my wedding anniversary. We've been married 43 years this year. Hard to believe that all that time has gone by. So much has happened in that time. And I was thinking about that day. It was a very warm day in Bremerton, Washington, which is close to Seattle, part of Greater Seattle, at Memorial Lutheran Church on a Saturday, June 4th. When we got married, quite warm. In fact, we had our photos taken before the ceremony because we didn't think there would be time afterward, and we wanted to go straight to the reception because our wedding was actually at 7:30 at night. And it was so hot in the afternoon when we had our photos taken that I actually fainted in my dress. Grandpa, my dad, your great-grandfather, Art Freitag, saw that I was a bit wobbly, and he ran up quick into the chancel and stood behind me, and he caught me. And then we remembered that we hadn't had any lunch that day. We'd been so busy getting ready for the wedding because the pictures were at 3 o'clock, and I think we had spent time dressing and doing our hair and stuff and then getting for the pictures. So somebody had some fruit in the back and fed us all some oranges and apples, and we all felt a lot better. But of course, a wedding is a wonderful day for anybody who's getting married. It's probably one of their favorite memories of their life, I would think. At our wedding, I wore my mother's wedding dress, and we had several bridesmaids and the groomsmen. The best man was Grandpa's brother, Paul, and my maid of honor was Nancy Nickel Nautney Moyer. She wore a yellow dress, and Uncle Paul wore a yellow shirt to match it. It was the late 70s, 1977, so pastel colors were very popular. So my other women had on pink pastel and blue and green, and the men had shirts to match, one to match each of them, so that was kind of fun. Grandpa wore a waistcoat, and he had a white tie on, as I remember, a white bow tie. It was a fun day. At our reception, we had a cake, as most people do, and we also had a groom's cake. A groom's cake is a cake that was popular in the United States at that time. I'm not sure if it is still now, but it was intended to make the groom happy because normally wedding cakes were white cakes, and grooms preferred chocolate. So the groom's cake was normally a chocolate cake. So we had one, which was a sheet cake. And on the top of it, the person who made the cake did something very special. She made a piano out of cake and put it on the top. So that was really great. We also had mints that were made by my mother at the wedding reception. She had a mint mold, and it was very good. She made green leaves and pink and white and yellow roses that were mints. And there were a lot of mixed nuts. We also had homemade punch, which was made from different kinds of juices and had sherbet ice cream floating in the top. This was one of my very favorites from different weddings that I'd been to. The flowers on the altar were football mums, the same flowers that my mom had at her wedding. I just thought, because we got married in the same church and I was wearing her dress, it would be really fun to have the same kind of flowers as well. But I carried a bouquet with different kinds of flowers in it, and each of my bridesmaids carried one large football mum with a ribbon on it. I think the ribbon matched the color of their dress, if I remember correctly. After the church reception, we went to my parents' house at 999 Callahan Drive, turquoise house there. If you ever go to Bremerton, it's still there. And all of our relatives came to the house and had a meal, a very beautiful buffet meal that my mother had created herself with ham and salads and all kinds of different stuff. So we went back there and we ate with all of our family, especially wonderful to see people from Connecticut and from Minnesota, our relatives. And I think there were probably close to 50 people there at the house. Well, after that, of course, I think it was about 11 p.m. when Grandpa and I left to go on our honeymoon. But the very next day, we saw everybody in church the next morning, because that was what we did. And then on Monday, we left Seattle driving in the red 1967 Buick to go back east to Ann Arbor, Michigan, to put all of our wedding gifts into our house, into our new home. And then we drove to Chicago so that we could get on our plane and go to our honeymoon in Europe and in the Middle East, which was really fun. And maybe another time I'll tell you about that. But today I thank God that Grandpa and I have had 43 years together. And no matter what, God has been with us. And one of the things I've learned, I'll tell you this, is that in marriage, one has to learn to say sorry, and one has to learn to forgive. And if you can do that, and God is the center of your marriage, then you'll have a good marriage. God bless all of you. We love all of you.